What's up, everybody? After a bit of a hiatus, our Week 14 wideout of the week is Allen Robinson. He's one of my favorite guys to study, truly a complete receiver. He went off for 123 yards and 1 touchdown on 9 receptions. You'll see here his second reception of the day is aligned at the bottom of your screen. Comes on a fallout or hinge route, which he really wins with his vertical stem. He's going to attack so well that there's enough cushion at route depth, and it affords him to kind of get his eyes out of his break point a bit prematurely. Ball's on time, DB has no chance. The only way this route really gets covered is if Robinson is providing an indicator to his cover defender that a break is coming. This will be repetitive for guys who have been following, but what we mean by an indicator is any abrupt change of height prior to our break point, any change in strides or chopping up our strides prior to our break point, any change in body language, or staring at the ground near the depth of our break point. If we eliminate those, and as Robinson does here, attacks in his stem, sinks his hips, ball's on time, no indicator, DB doesn't have a chance. Robinson's aligned in the slot to the right of the formation for his third reception of the day. One main thing that needs to be discussed here is the route tempo which Robinson attacks his cover defender with. He's super patient as he gets on the DB's toes because there's a rub route coming from the outside. Should Robinson exit the line of scrimmage to the flat immediately, it will take the DB's eyes that way, and he may be able to recognize the rub route coming. However, since Robinson's patient, it provides the outside receiver to close the gap on the slot corner, and now the slot corner has no time to react or identify that rub route. Regardless, Robinson's route tempo paired with this crossover at the top would have created enough separation to win this route. One more coaching point is that while Robinson does eat up space and get on the DB's toes, he still provides himself with enough room to exit the break without collision. We want to think about being arm's distance away when we're completing our crossover or separation tool, because once you win with your feet, the only thing the cover defender can now do is collision. And once again, Robinson has done this basically the exact situation, winning the same route, same technique a few weeks ago. Robinson is once again aligned inside at the top of your screen. He has a slant route here, and this is really routes on air for us as wideouts, guys. When we have cushion at route depth and we have something like an out, or in this case a slant, less is more. So we have separation here by attacking in stem and by the cover defender's alignment. So we call this separation by alignment. Now, rather than creating separation, we're really just maintaining it. And how do we do that? Simply stay in attack mode in our stem and eliminate those indicators we spoke about previously. No need to give any type of jab at the top of this. Just pressure step off that outside foot, keeping it as tight to our frame as possible in order to minimize any loss of speed due to increased ground contact time. There are certain times where we want to put a little bit more force on the ground. There are certain times if we're working some type of jab where we want to be outside of our framework. This is simple though. Just run, pressure step, no extra force on the ground, no extra displacement. Sometimes football is really that simple. Robinson's 6th reception of the day comes on a vertical route, and I love what he does off the line of scrimmage. The DB's playing soft press here, so if Robinson executes his jabs at the line of scrimmage, there isn't really a threat to the DB due to the space between the two of them. So he eats up space in a controlled tempo, basically bringing the line of scrimmage to the corner where he can now work those jabs and really threaten. The release doesn't change, the location of it does. He does a nice job finishing with the chop to minimize contact from the corner, and then you'll notice him track the ball earlier than on a normal go ball. That's because the safety's layering over the top. Robinson identifies this and understands that the reception area is significantly shorter depth than if there were no safety involved. This is similar to a hole shot versus cover 2, but rather than the corner sinking into zone, he's now in man coverage. Robinson tracks the ball once he clears his cover defender, demonstrating the full understanding for the totality of the concept. Great example of the importance behind understanding how routes can change based on the coverage contour. We don't just run paper routes. Everything, all the stimuli presented to us dictates how we're going to run them. Reception 7 comes on another vertical route from a bit of a condensed split. We won't dive into the route a ton here, although he does a nice job working a split release and exiting with width and speed. The one thing to be discussed is how Robinson shows the awareness to not tuck the ball away here. There are unique situations where tucking the ball can actually do more harm than good. We'll discuss them in a second. Robinson has the DB on his back here at the catch point, so the only chance the DB has to break up this pass is to play through Robinson's hands, try to punch the ball out as Robinson brings it into his chest when he attempts to tuck it. Robinson identifies this and keeps the arms extended, the ball away from the body, and eliminates the chance for the DB to punch the ball out. You'll often see things like this where guys keep the ball extended on catches on the sideline as well, comebacks, out routes, primarily when the DB is on our back. 8th reception of the day is for a touchdown from the 3-yard line. This situation is a major advantage for the Bears. Robinson's so effective at creating space in short areas. It's no different here. He's going to come to balance, eat up a tiny bit of space before hitting a double to move the defender outside as Robinson wins inside. He's never in a rush. I love how he tempos this, maintaining a two-way go right up until the sudden double jab to separate. He's done this all season, and in this particular instance, Trubisky does a really nice job throwing him to the grass on the inside behind the linebacker attempting to drop underneath the route. Aligned in the slot here for the final reception of the day, and this is really a review from the previous routes in Week 14. He controls the tempo, brings line of scrimmage to his cover defender before working jabs or a hip shift to win inside again. Leaving room to avoid collision, he catches, does a great job making the first man miss, a part of his game that's pretty underrated, prior to knifing vertical to maximize yak. And that'll do it for our Week 14 Wide Out of the Week. As always, thank you guys so much for your time, your support. Thanks for tuning in. Apologize for the few weeks we took off. Moving forward, every Thursday, right before the Thursday night games, we'll be posting our Wide Out of the Week.